Hey, are you running shopping ads on Google? If you are, you're going to absolutely love this episode of Ask Aaron, as I've got 5 quick tips for improving your Google shopping ads. Let's get into it. So, 5 quick ways to improve your Google shopping account and get that all-important ROAS as high as it possibly can be. Tip number 1. Let's remember that when we set up Google shopping accounts, that more often than not, our shopping feed that gets imported through Merchant Center uses the default product titles. The number of accounts that we look at where it's just pulling in that default title, which is the most important part of your shopping feed, and it mirrors the website, or it's a very close variant of it. There is no need for it to be like that. It can work so much harder, and it needs to work so much harder for your account. And you can much better optimize that title, that description within the shopping feed. So if you're not sure, download that shopping feed from Google, get it out of Merchant Center, open up that CSV and have a look at your your product titles. What are they saying? Are they mirroring the website? Are they working as hard as they possibly can be? Because if they're not, that, my friends, is where to start. That is how you should be optimizing from the very outset. You can make those product titles so much more descriptive. So ask yourself, does that product title, does that product description, does it cover all of the key parts of what you need to get across in those all-important first few words that appear in the search feed? If you're not sure how your products appear in the search results, then go and do a bit of searching. Have a little preview, have a look at how they are appearing in the search results, and ask yourself, does that cover, how does it compare to the competition firstly, and does it cover and get across the key points, the USPs of that product? Does it say what it is? The number of accounts we've looked at, and yet we look at how the product appears, and because of the way that the titles have been loaded, it doesn't actually say what it actually is, because maybe the brand's first, or it's got some descriptive terms first. So what's showing up in the SERPs is not actually what the product is. And some products that's fine for, others it's like, no, actually we need to say what it is. So just looking at that and knowing that your your product title description does not have to match exactly what is showing in your CMS is the first easy way that you can massively improve your shopping feed. And all too often brands they aren't aware of it, they don't do it, they don't think it matters much, they focus so much on the strategy of the account and the audiences of it and all of that good stuff, and they don't realize that the very core of a shopping campaign, the feed that is running in, is not working as hard as it possibly could. So go and check out your product titles and your descriptions and make sure they are containing the key phrases, the key words that are reflective of how people are searching for that specific product. What else can we do? Next, leverage custom labels. They are provided. We are crazy not to use them. They are so powerful. Custom labels, you can have up to 5 of them. And essentially, they're just 5 additional columns that you can add in to give you 5 additional ways to incorporate how someone might search for that product. Now, there are some very creative and inventive ways that you can do it. Some of the things that the guys here do for their clients is quite incredible, is how they can leverage custom labels. And then you can bolster that with supplementary feeds and, go to town. But to keep it relatively basic, when it comes to custom labels, just think about how else, based on the search terms, based on your data, how people search, the type of product, the use case for that product, the variance of that product, what isn't included by default within your spreadsheet. It will differ brand to brand, obviously, and product to product, but are there any additional things that you could do? So for example, some of our clients use the custom labels to add additional descriptive use cases for their product. Others use it to include that whether a product is in sale, or they stagger the different types of sale or promotions they offer. They use it to incorporate that. Essentially, all your custom labels are doing are giving you a way to slice and dice the data, giving you a way to filter and make it incredibly easy to do, so you can start to split your product groups and so on and so forth. So if you're not leveraging custom labels, have a discussion internally and work out what additional elements could you, but in an ideal world, wouldn't it be great if we could filter our products by this, or if we could filter our products by that? They're your custom labels. Add those in, especially if you know that users are searching for them. So powerful. So if you're not leveraging custom labels, make sure that you do. Next, make sure that when you you've got your feed and you've imported that into Google Ads and you're setting up your campaigns, make sure that you are segmenting your products. Now, again, there's no right or wrong for how to do this, but don't have one massive pot with all of your products in, because rarely is that best use and in terms of good optimization, especially if you've got a decent number of products. Just remember to segment your products into ad groups or product groups. There is no right or wrong of how to do it, but if you just split them, and this is true whether you're running standard shopping or performance max, if you just split your products out and think logically, right? Think commercially, think, right, what makes sense? And it might be that you split them by the price ranges. You might sort of, between X and Y, and then between this and then between this. It might be that you order them by margin that you make on the product. Okay, these are high margin, these are low margin. There is no right and wrong, but don't have everything in one pot, because if you do, it makes the optimizing of that account as a whole just so much more difficult. And to really drive up that ROAS, that return on ad spend, you need to be able to go, okay, I can really dial that one because I'm getting a great return, or there's a better margin on that, or this one not so much, so I need to rein that one in. If you just have everything in one pot, it makes the whole thing so much. So one thing we focus on, regardless of the product, is we sort of identify how do we section this up, and some we can go more granular than others, but just being mindful of and thinking logically and commercially what makes sense for our business to segment, how do we best do that, so on and so forth. It makes your life so much easier, and it makes the optimization of your account so much better as you grow, as you scale, and as you start to really kick things on. So make sure you're doing that. What else can we do? So if you are running multiple shopping campaigns, and different performance max campaigns and so on, make sure that you leverage campaign priority. So just make sure that there is an option within the settings where you can choose your campaign priority. If you're not sure what's best practice, just just search for Google shopping campaign priorities, and you'll get little graphs and stuff that will show you how best to do it. But just leverage that, because if you don't, Google will choose which campaign to serve, and sometimes that can be okay. Other times, if you have a particular way, especially if you've grouped your products by margin or by priority or what you want to focus more on, sometimes you want to have a bit more control. And so you want to kind of lead Google and sort of go, well, prioritize this one. If that doesn't work, then you can prioritize this, then you can prioritize this. So just campaign priority can be a nice and effective one. And then lastly, again, this is something we do for a lot of our brands, and it can be quite good, is exclude search partners. So if you're on Google Shopping Network, that for the most part will be where most of your the sales are coming from. You want to exclude. It's a great way of wasting money, is in putting including or allowing by default all of Google's search partners. So all those third-party websites where you don't even probably know your ads are running. If you don't exclude it, it's in the settings. You can just check a box and it will exclude it. And we've been able to improve results just by excluding that, because we focus our shopping ads to show purely on Google Shopping Network, and that can have some Brucey bonuses. So those are just a few things. There's 5 quick ways that you can just go in and just tweak your shopping feed to improve those results. I hope it's useful. If you have found it useful, please do give this video a like. I would very much appreciate that. We've got lots more videos coming from myself and the team, which is very exciting. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we're going to do our best to keep these videos coming where we try and not go too technical, but try and just give you that stuff that makes a lot of sense. And we're hoping you're sitting watching this thinking, do you know what, that guy just kind of makes a lot of sense. It's logical, because if we're achieving that, then ultimately we're achieving the aim of this very YouTube channel. So hope you're enjoying them. We'll keep them coming, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.